We all love our planet very much. This is our home after all. But why did we appear on Earth? The conditions here millions of years ago were almost no different from the conditions on many other planets. The same chemical elements, the same volcanoes and oceans. Why exactly did living organisms, animals, and us people, appear on Earth? First things first, it would be useful to define what we consider to be alive. Something capable of movement? Well, plants don't move. Something that reproduces? But mules, the horse and donkey hybrids, are born infertile in most cases, although they meet all the other criteria of being alive. Okay, let's think about molecules, but it's not only living beings that consist of them, or maybe about cells, but a lot of viruses don't have cells though they are alive. We also can't forget about metabolism, a set of extremely unique chemical reactions, and about the DNA and heritage, though the viruses often don't have it either. About the ability of mutation. All that being said, this is how Gerald Joyce from the Scripps Scientific Research Institute, that's in California, defined life. Life is a self-sustaining chemical system, capable of regeneration and evolution. So we figured that out, but how did this very chemical system originate on an uninhabitable planet? Nobody knows for sure, but it's likely that a combination of some favorable factors are important to consider, such as sunlight, lightning, water, volcanoes and the presence of minerals and gases. The Earth gathered all the chemical elements needed for life. These are hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, oxygen and carbon. Here in front of us is the uninhabitable Earth 4 billion years ago. The order in which life originated on it is roughly understood. First there was the building material mentioned before, atoms. Then the atoms, connecting, began to form molecules, then the molecular blocks, sugars, lipids, amino acids, etc. But where, and how? For a long time, the most popular version was the primordial soup theory. In 1953, a chemist Harold Urey and his student Stanley Miller constructed a device that simulated the early stage of life on Earth. There was water boiling in a glass container. That was the ocean. The mixture of gases recreated the atmosphere, the lamp imitated ultraviolet radiation, and the sparks were lightning. Few days after the process started, the crystal clear water turned pinkish at first. Then it turned gray, and a black sediment even appeared on the glass walls. After conducting a chemical analysis of these sediments, the scientists discovered the very primary molecular blocks, amino acids, lipids, alkalis, and so on. By the way, it was the theory of the primordial soup that started the assumption that life may have been possible on Mars at some point, too. The first 500 million years of the planet's existence there were very similar in terms of conditions, but now it is obviously uninhabitable. There has been no water for a long time. Despite the fact that the theory claiming that life originated on the surface of the ocean has become extremely popular, it also had its drawbacks. The experiment did not take into account changeable weather, even daily temperature changes, not to mention such occurrences as for example volcanic eruptions, and most importantly, if life originated on the surface of the Earth, then why does it exist deep below it? There are living cells under thick layers of ice and earth, in boiling volcanic lakes, in deep-sea geysers, even in the stratosphere above the surface of our planet. Real daredevils. If they remain unharmed even in such extreme conditions. Perhaps it was in extreme conditions that everything began? In 1996, American mineralogist Robert Hazen and his team from the Carnegie Institution recreated the conditions of deep-sea geysers in the laboratory. They obtained the same lipids and amino acids from gases and minerals. If this theory is correct, there may still be life, deep in the bowels of cold Mars. Moreover, living organisms can exist on Saturn's moon, Titan, and even on some ordinary large asteroids. So this version sounds promising for those who want to believe that Earthlings are not alone. Got a question? Join our Nouchpok community on VK.com, where you can ask about anything that keeps you up at night.